What's happening, YouTube? Eric Bauer, back again. Taking a second just to let it all just sink in. This is going to be take number 3 for this current video. Hopefully the last one. Done fucking around. I happen to be drinking some tea out of the best mug ever made. That's right, cats. Cats rule, dogs drool. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you about some records today. You know, there is a common theme kind of tying all these together. And some of these are older in my collection. There's a couple new ones in here, but just a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and start with the most legendary out of everything that you're about to see. Country of Sweden by Cimex. Some people like to say Cimex. I don't know. I've been listening to these guys for like 20 plus years and I've never known the proper way to say their name. Probably one of the most iconic album covers in hardcore history. Absolut Country of Sweden. You'll see that font pop up a lot in dbeat these days. This is a gatefold repress on Spark Records from 2014. Originally this came out in 1990. It's on a very nice white LP with, if I can get to it, shit, some liner notes that are actually informative this time around. Lyrics. Cimex. Everybody, fucking everybody should know about Cimex at this point in time. But if you don't, formed in 1980, 1981 in Gothenburg, Sweden, playing what some may argue to be the first dbeat next to Skitslickers, who actually shared members. Eventually, however, Skitslickers broke up so that the two primary members could focus solely on Cimex. They released Victims of a Bomb Raid, Raped Ass, a few other EPs, broke up in 1986, maybe 87, and then reformed in 1990 and put out that fucking masterpiece right there. They had a follow-up, Scandinavian Jawbreaker. Some might argue it's better. I don't agree. It's still fucking a masterpiece, a mandatory masterpiece, if you will. At any rate, when they reformed to record this album, they did so with a new member, Cliff, who's a pretty fucking legendary figure in Swedish fucking crust, hardcore, dbeat, rawpunk, whatever you want to call it. He started out in Moderate Liquidation, which he and a few others left to go ahead and form. Right, where'd it go? There it is. Shit. Black fucking Uniforms. This is a compilation album, Splatter Punks on Acid, from the Vaults. This album's a masterpiece. 2 for 2. On Hardcore Holocaust Records. Came out in 2001. Really nice marbled gray vinyl. The Black Uniforms was a short-lived band. They really didn't do much. They had a few demos, one full-length, this comp, that's about it. This comp actually compiles 2 of their demos, Back from the Grave from 1986, as well as Horror Holocaust from 1987. There's an insert. Look at that band photo. All of those. This is an album I've been after for a very long time. And it just came in not too long ago, and I love this record, man. Seriously. It's got some great liner notes and information in here. The music, I mean, what to really say about it? If you're familiar with Cimex, if you're familiar with Moderate Liquidation, or any of the Finnish stuff like Turvik Cadet, or fucking, There were some other, you know, I can't think of any of the other finish acts, honestly. At any rate, the Tommy Stereo, that's another one, I think. Could be mispronouncing that. At any rate, the shit's so good. Aside from the usual dbeat that you would expect, these guys have a lot of other influences going on here. Mostly Motorhead, Venom, Bathory, Hellhammer, and some glam. I mean, look at the hair. Where do you think Joel Grind got his hairdo from? At any rate, Cliff left Black Uniforms, joined Anti-Cimex in 1990. The rest is history. Anti-Cimex broke up 93, 94 after the release of Scandinavian Jawbreaker. Cliff kept working. Actually, went on to do this band. Driller Killer. Great fucking shit right there. Awesome stuff. Seriously. So the next record I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about. It's also loosely related. And that would be Agony's The First Defiance. On Under One Flag, Combat. This came out in 1988. A lot of people mistake this as their debut, which would be incorrect. Look at that band photo. Look at that fucking hair. Good lord. Prior to this album, they released a demo, I want to say in 86, called Execution of Mankind, under the name Agony, A-G-O-N-Y. However, prior to that, they were known as Agony, A-G-O-N-I. They had one full length. I want to say it was self-titled. I think honestly, they're probably most well known for one of the tracks on the full length being covered by Doom from the UK on their Hail to Sweden album, which is an amazing tribute to Swedish fucking dbeat and crust. Amazing. Anyway, Agony. What to say about them? It's weird. It's like a complete 180 from what they were doing before. Previously, they were super crusty, really dbeat driven. They had thrashy elements, which a lot of the dbeat bands around that time didn't. They did definitely have a toe in the metal world, even in '86. This album it's strange. It's like I'd say it's like their version of Discharge's Grave New World, which was a complete 180 from the album's Discharge released before. Fun fact, Agony actually ended up touring with Anti-Cimex and Discharge in the UK in '86 during that Grave New World fucking tour, and even in the UK, Discharge were apparently booed off stage constantly because of the material on Grave New World. It's fucking awful. As well as Celtic Frost with fucking Cold Lake, also out in '88, if I'm not mistaken. Difference with Agony is that this Agony album doesn't suck. It's great. Really great. Really happy to have this in my collection. Actually found this at a record fair a couple weeks back for really cheap. It's just a hole punch promo. Happy to have it. Really stoked. So next up, Bastard, Wind of Pain. This album's amazing. Legendary stuff. This is a Fair Award reissue from 2013. Originally, this was put out in 1992. Bastard are a Japanese hardcore band. This album, like the Anti-Cimex, awesome white. Printed inner sleeve. Fucking great shit. Now, what's really awesome about this particular release, like I said, it came out in '92. And at that time, there were some pretty prominent bands playing crust, dbeat in Japan. You had Gauze, of course. You had Deathside. You had Gizm. you had fucking Disclose, of course. And all those bands were either really weird, Gizm, amazing, amazing band, but super, super strange at times, or really fucking noisy, raw as shit dbeat like Disclose or Warhead. Bastard, however, took more of their influence from Anti-Cimex as opposed to Discharge, which may seem a little bit redundant considering that Anti-Cimex were, in fact, a dbeat band, but Bastard really kind of amped up the Motorhead worship, pushing the album sometimes almost into like motorpunk territory. Not fully, but a little bit. Great album. Fucking good stuff. Highly recommend it. They have some other releases, singles, a comp. I think actually compiling most of their shit on CD. Really, really good shit. Definitely look into them. Next band I want to talk to you about. This is one that I've picked up a while back and I got around to showing. I figure this is a good excuse to get it out. Wolfpack, Lycanthropunk. This is actually the Southern Lord reissue from last year, 2016. Originally this came out in 1998. I want to say on Distortion. The Wolfpack was made up of members of Anti-Cimex. Mostly, I want to say it was Johnson, whatever that means to you, and Jock, who I want to say takes credit as being the founder of Wolfpack. Johnson contributed to the first two albums. This was the last album actually that he had anything to do with. They kicked him out after this, at which point they put out their All Day Hell album, and then changed their name to Wolf Brigade. And this album fucking rages. It is so good. At the time it came out, it was super, super influenced by like Disfear, who I want to say formed around 92. Most famously ended up swapping vocalists and ended up with Thomas Lindbergh from At the Gates fame, of course. But at the same time that he was doing At the Gates, he was also doing a band called Skitsystem, which is another band to draw similarities with Wolfpack, of course. Fucking dbeat again, but this one mixes a lot of death metal into that, and specifically like Sweet Death. In fact, I want to say this album was recorded at Studio Fredman. I could be wrong about that. I know that Wolfpack and Wolf Brigade both have put shit out through Studio Fredman as far as their recording studio. Great shit. I love this album. It's one of my all-time favorites. The title track alone is worth the cost of a fucking record. I don't want to say it tops out at like 28 minutes or something like that, so it's a quick and easy listen, and you will be banging your head, pumping your fists the entire fucking time. So, let's go ahead and jump forward a few years. (2003), Nailbiter with Abused. Came out on Hardcore Holocaust, same label as that Black Uniforms. Now that Vallejo painting may make you think that, oh, this is going to be some sort of metal or crossover album. It is not. This is fucking furious dbeat. Nice marbled orange vinyl. I don't think there's anything in here though. And there's not. Oh no, there is. Look at that. Spoke too soon. That's it. That's all you get. A couple lyrics. Nailbiter, not real recognized for being super influential, because they weren't, but they were great at what they did. I wouldn't say this is their only, what you might call a full length. It's pretty fucking short though. There's only 7 songs on here, one of which is a cover of Daughters of Pride by Anti-Cimex. Now the thing with Nailbiter, check out that cover art again. I don't know. Honestly, to my ears, they lean more towards a Japanese influence than, you know, like a blatant anti-Cimex ripoff, or even Discharge. There's definitely traces of both of those bands in their music. How could there not be? But it is super distorted, raw as fuck, just visceral, vicious, feral fucking crust. It is so good. It's almost, I would almost compare it to like a speed metal album. Those solos on there are just fantastic. There's soaring, melodic solos. It kind of contrasts a little bit with the music, but that really works in the album's favor. It's so good. Really great. Can't recommend enough. And it's easy to find. Super cheap. You should be able to score this record for less than $10 off Discogs. Easily. CD, even cheaper than that. Next record I want to talk to you about. Deprogram by Warcry. This is an Agipunk repress from 2015. This album originally came out in 2006. Now, if you are not familiar with Warcry, they're a Portland, Oregon band, most notably a side project of Todd Burdett, whose name you will potentially recognize as being a part of his Heroes Gone, Tragedy, Nightfell, fucking Death Threat, Severed Head of State, among other bands. Also has Brad Boatwright in it from Audio Siege recording studio. It's also got members of Hellshock and Bacteria, other Portland local bands. This is their second album, and it's a little bit of a departure from the first album, which is just more raw, fucking anti-Cimex driven punk. This has a far more focused, I want to say almost, edge to it. It's still very dbeat, but it's also motor punk almost. You can definitely hear traces of Motorhead, like if the patch on the denim jacket doesn't give it away. First couple Bathory albums, Venom, of course, you know, that's like kryptonite to some of you, but fucking first four Venom albums rule. I don't know why I just got the insert out again. I don't really have anything more to say about this record other than, you know, all need to fucking listen to it. It's one of the few albums that I own on multiple formats. Got the CD in the other room. It is great shit, and I highly recommend it. The next thing, and actually the last thing, technically the last thing, it's actually two pieces, is one of my favorite current bands playing this fucking style of music. And I'm talking about Condition. Notice the font, same as that fucking anti-Cimex font. Had to bat the cat away from the fucking record sleeves. This was released in 2015 on Iron Lung Recordings. Album is Actual Hell. With an OBI strip, which is a nice touch. I happen to get 148 out of 200. And this album fucking rules, man. First of all, the way Iron Lung put this thing together is just exceptional. Red vinyl, custom labels. Love this album. Super heavyweight jacket. Came with some goodies too. Question is, do I get them out? I guess so. Fucking ridiculous fold out with lyrics. Who's gonna fold that out and read along with the lyrics, man? That's ridiculous. Still, the packaging is great. The record is great. What to say about this band? They share members with Blazing Eye, Ritual Control, Hoax, Trash Talk, and there's plenty of other bands these guys have been involved with. I mean, it's just new era fucking rawpunk and mangle. It's in the vein of Paranoid, who I've talked about before. fucking Absolut, who I've talked about before, Chromosome from Australia, Inferno. It's just stomping, unrelenting hardcore. It's got noise elements. There's experimentalism on there. It's 14 minutes. Fucking just ripping and tearing from start to finish. Some of the most feral fucking music you're gonna hear. One of my favorite releases in the last few years, for sure. In fact, I like that record so much. How about this? What is this, you might ask? Well, this is actually the one and only test press in my collection. This is the test press of the album I just showed you, Actual Hell by Condition. I just love that fucking artwork. Fantastic. Iron Lung really does their test presses nicely. Came with a little insert. Real nice. Vinyl itself is on black. There's a white label. Stamped. Man, again, I don't know what to say about this album to sell it to you any more than I already have. It's fucking fantastic stuff. Like I said, it's the only album that I give a shit enough about to buy a test press of. Really, you know, and I reached out to get this. Great shit. Really fantastic stuff. Highest recommendation for sure. Anyway, that's all I've got. Hopefully, you know, I talked about or showed something that you might take interest in. Check out, enjoy, pick up yourselves. All of this stuff, fucking fantastic and well worth your time. Fucking get into it. Pick one and go with it. Pick them all and fucking just build yourself a YouTube playlist, hours long. This is a fucking K-hole that you can fall into for a very long time, believe me. And I also want to take a second to go ahead and shout out, thank my new subscribers. Even since the last video, got a boatload of new subs. I am shy of 1,000 by, I want to say 25. And I'm going to do a giveaway when I hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. I've got some goodies set aside that I want to go ahead and I want to redistribute the wealth, so to speak. At any rate, thank you for watching. As always, comment below. I love the dialogue. I will respond, even if it takes me a day or two. If you engage me, I will reply. It's just how I roll. Give me a thumbs up. And again, if you're not subscribed, do it. Why not? What's it gonna hurt? As always, keep it real, YouTube. Peace out and take care.